Welcome to another explainer, where we're turning complex topics into clear, visual journeys. Right now, wherever you are, I want you to stop exactly what you're doing, take a really deep, deliberate breath in. Hold it for just a second. Okay, let it out. That simple, completely automatic action is exactly what we're decoding today as we explore lung function. Breathe in, live well.
It actually leads us to a deceptively simple question. What do our lungs actually do? Obviously, we know they help us breathe, right? But what is truly happening inside that invisible life support system operating inside our chests right this very second? Honestly, it's way more mechanical and chemical than most of us realize, and understanding it can completely change how you view your own health.
Okay, let's dive into this. When you look at it from a macroscopic level, our lungs have this singular, absolutely vital dual purpose. Basically, they act as a continuous biological import-export business. They're bringing fresh, life-giving oxygen into the body, and they meticulously pack up and remove the toxic carbon dioxide waste. To map out this process, we've got a clear roadmap for today. We'll start with the power of breathing, then break down the mechanics into Step 1, ventilation, Step 2, gas exchange, and Step 3, oxygen transport. Finally, we'll look at our lungs in action before wrapping the whole thing up with a recap and key takeaways. Section 1. The power of breathing, our life support.
You've got to think of your lungs as your body's ultimate biological engine. And to truly understand how they fuel you, we need to establish a rigid three-step framework. Basically, to follow a single molecule of oxygen from the room you're sitting in right now all the way down to your beating heart, it has to clear three very specific physiological hurdles. Those are ventilation, gas exchange, and transport.
Moving right along to Section 2, Step 1, ventilation.
Now, ventilation is the purely mechanical part of the process. It's really all about pressure, and it's driven by an absolutely crucial dome-shaped muscle sitting right below your lungs called the diaphragm. And this brilliantly illustrates the comparison. When you inhale, your diaphragm actively contracts and moves down, creating a sort of vacuum that pulls air in. Then, when you exhale, that diaphragm just relaxes, moves back up, and pushes the air right back out. It's this continuous, rhythmic, physical duality.
All right, Section 3, Step 2, gas exchange.
So once the air is physically pumped inside, we leave that macroscopic chest cavity behind, and we zoom way in to the microscopic scale. To understand gas exchange, you absolutely must understand the alveoli. These are tiny, microscopic sacs deep within the lungs. They literally look like tiny clusters of grapes at the very end of your airway branches. This spot right here is the critical border crossing where oxygen goes into the blood and carbon dioxide comes out.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer efficiency of this delicate swap. These tiny alveoli sacs are wrapped incredibly tightly in tiny blood vessels called capillaries. Oxygen, or O2, moves seamlessly from inside the alveoli directly across the membrane and right into the blood. Simultaneously, carbon dioxide, or CO2, which is that toxic waste product we mentioned, moves across that exact same membrane from the blood back into the alveoli, queuing up to be exhaled. It's a perfect biological swap. Which brings us to Section 4, Step 3, oxygen transport.
Okay, so the oxygen has successfully crossed the border and is now hitting the body's internal highway system. Your bloodstream acts as this massive high-speed transit network. Your red blood cells act like little delivery trucks, actively picking up that fresh oxygen and carrying it to every single body cell that needs power. At the exact same time, the carbon dioxide waste is picked up and carried back to the lungs. This entire loop ensures your cells stay fed and the toxic waste is safely removed without a hitch.
Now for Section 5, lungs in action. Let's pull back out to the macroscopic level for a second and see how this internal mechanism actually powers your life. So, the crucial point is that those three mechanical and chemical steps we just talked about provide the essential oxygen needed to burn fuel for your daily energy. They aggressively remove carbon dioxide to prevent cellular toxicity, and, fascinatingly, this whole process also helps maintain your blood's delicate pH balance by regulating acidity levels moment to moment. Literally every step you take and every single thought you have is powered by this incredible system.
Finally, Section 6, recap and takeaways. Let's move to and see how this builds into one cohesive picture. The entire respiratory system really relies on a seamless connection. First, our lungs bring air in and out through ventilation. Second, oxygen enters the blood and carbon dioxide leaves it through gas exchange down in the alveoli. Third, the blood actively transports that oxygen to your cells and brings the waste right back. This elegant biological loop is literally what keeps our bodies alive and healthy.
Take a deep breath. Take care of your lungs. they take care of you. It is so incredibly easy to take an automatic process completely for granted, isn't it? But knowing exactly how hard your lungs work for you every single second, constantly traversing from the mechanical to the microscopic just to keep you alive, what will you do to protect them today? Think about that for a second. Stay curious, stay focused, and keep learning.